Today, I want to talk about one of the most misunderstood characters in the entire Naruto franchise. A character most people reduce to a final boss, a monster, a plot device, a goddess with too much power, and not enough humanity, but I think that completely misses who Kaguya Otsutsuki really is. Look into her eyes. Really look at them. There is no warmth there, no comfort, no peace, only emptiness. A silent abyss staring back at you. Those eyes do not warn you, they condemn you. They belong to someone who witnessed terror so absolute that her soul retreated behind a mask she could never remove. And honestly, I think people overlook how tragic that really is. Before Kaguya became the monster who drowned the world in fear, she was nothing more than disposable Otsutsuki livestock, a low-ranking clan member marked for sacrifice. A being born into a civilization that treated planets like crops and people like fuel. The Otsutsuki clan did not value compassion. They did not value emotional connection or individuality. Their existence revolved around conquest, sacrifice, and consumption. Entire civilizations were disposable if it meant gaining power. Imagine growing up in a reality like that. Imagine existing in a world where vulnerability is punished, where attachment is weakness, where survival depends on suppressing your emotions before someone else destroys you first. That kind of existence changes people. Trauma does not always appear as rage or violence. Sometimes trauma is emotional numbness, hypervigilance, dissociation. The inability to ever fully relax because your mind never stops waiting for danger. And Kaguya displays all of these traits long before she ever becomes the terrifying figure people remember during the war arc. Even her expression feels unnatural, controlled, frozen. That soft, neutral smile she wears when she first arrives on Earth does not feel genuine happiness. It feels practiced, like camouflage. Like the expression of someone who learned a long time ago that revealing too much emotion could get you hurt. And then she met Tenji, the first human she ever trusted, the first person who looked at her without cruelty, without fear, without seeing her as something disposable. And this scene matters more than people realize. When Tenji asks her what she desires, Kaguya looks toward the sky and quietly answers with one word. Peace. And honestly, I want to believe her. I genuinely believe her desire for peace was real and sincere, because for the first time in her existence, Kaguya was experiencing something completely alien to her race. Love, safety, human connection. She was no longer simply surviving inside the brutal ideology of the Otsutsuki clan. She became someone capable of emotional attachment. Someone capable of wanting a future beyond violence and fear. And honestly, I support her in that moment. I think that feeling is justified, because when you watch those episodes carefully, Kaguya does not behave like someone plotting domination. She behaves like someone fascinated by humanity. Curious about kindness. Curious about connection. Around Tenji, her body language softens. Her emotional guard lowers. For the first time, she looks less like a goddess, and more like a lonely woman, finally experiencing warmth. That is what makes her downfall so heartbreaking, because peace was not just a dream to her. Peace was escape. Escape from the violence of her clan. Escape from fear. Escape from the life she had always known. For the first time, Kaguya was not just surviving. She was living. But peace is fragile, and this is where everything collapses. When conflict erupted and Kaguya defended herself using her powers, Tenji became afraid of her. The very person who made her believe she could belong somewhere suddenly looked at her like a monster. To most viewers, this is simply betrayal, but psychologically it means far more than that. To Kaguya, it confirmed the worst fear buried deep inside her mind. Trust always ends in pain. Love is temporary. Eventually everyone will fear you once they truly see who you are. And that realization destroyed her. People underestimate how devastating betrayal becomes when someone already carries deep trauma. For emotionally healthy people, betrayal hurts. But for traumatized people, betrayal reinforces every terrible belief they already have about themselves and the world. That is why Kaguya changes so drastically afterward. People often say the chakra fruit transformed her into a monster. I disagree. I think she was already emotionally collapsing long before she consumed it. The fruit did not create the darkness inside her. It amplified the fear already growing there. And then came the real terror. Momoshiki, kinshiki, predators, collectors, executioners. Kaguya checked the sky every single day for nearly 20 years. Not because she was paranoid, because she remembered. She knew what the Otsutsuki clan was capable of. She knew the horrors they brought from world to world. And deep down, I believe she knew exactly what would happen if they ever found her again. Her long white gown. Those oversized sleeves people associate with elegance and divinity. They feel more like armor, like someone trying to hide themselves from the world. Like someone covering wounds no one else could see. And after consuming the chakra fruit, something inside Kaguya truly broke. She did not evolve, she mutated. Her transformation was not ambition, it was survival instinct twisted into something monstrous. Aino's death, Tenji's betrayal, the looming shadow of the Otsutsuki clan. Every tragedy carved the same message deeper into her mind. Trust is death. And eventually that fear consumed everything else. By the time her sons opposed her, Kaguya was no longer functioning like the woman who once wished for peace beneath the stars. She had spent centuries isolated, paranoid, emotionally detached, consumed by fear so severe that control became the only thing making her feel safe. And I think that is why Naruto Uzumaki could not reach her the way he reached others. Naruto's greatest ability was never strength. It was empathy. He reached people like Gaara, Nagato, and Obito Uchiha because despite everything they had become, some emotional connection to their former selves still remained. There was still humanity beneath the pain. But Kaguya feels different. When you watch her during the Fourth Great Ninja War, she does not behave like someone driven by ego or conquest. She behaves like someone psychologically shattered. Her expressions are vacant. Her reactions feel delayed. Her movements resemble instinct more than conscious emotion. She does not even seem fully present. It feels less like watching a villain trying to conquer the world, and more like watching someone trapped inside an endless survival response they no longer know how to escape from. And honestly, that is horrifying, because unresolved trauma does this to people. It isolates them, disconnects them, convincing them that vulnerability is weakness and control is safety. Over time, fear replaces identity itself. Kaguya stopped being a person trying to live. She became a being trying to prevent pain at any cost. And ironically, that fear created the exact suffering she wanted to avoid. And then the illusion finally cracks. She asks one word. Why? Not as a goddess, not as a tyrant, but as a broken woman finally realizing what she became. Her scream is not rage. It is grief. It is guilt. It is mourning. The sound of someone realizing too late that fear destroyed every beautiful thing they once had. Because Kaguya is not a warning about power. She is a warning about loneliness. About what happens when trauma festers in silence, when fear replaces trust, when love is offered, and then ripped away. Hagoromo offered her compassion. She rejected it not because she was evil, but because she no longer believed love could protect her. And in the end, Kaguya did not fall because she was a monster. She fell because fear had already taken everything from her long before Naruto ever sealed her away. Leave a like and subscribe and let me know who you want to see next. Just leave any character you can come up with.